Okay, Priya, please introduce yourself fully and tell about the work you do, and please tell us a story.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. And I'm Priya. I am from Mumbai, India. And today I'm going to be narrating a legend and a personal experience story also. So I'm going to be taking you all back many, many years ago, or I would say ideally 2,500 years ago, to the place where Buddha was born. So I am going to take you to witness the journey of the Buddha, the birth of the Lotus Sutra, and my personal experience with Nichiren Buddhism. So many years ago, in a small province in North India, which is now called as Nepal, there was a prince. And the name of that prince was Siddhartha Gautama. The mother had a celestial experience when she was pregnant with Siddhartha Gautama, which signaled the fact that this child was not an ordinary child. He was indeed a divine child with a mission that was unique. After he was born, many sages and saints came and proclaimed that this child will be a big spiritual leader. But Siddhartha Gautama's father was a very, very ardent king, and he never wanted his son to go on the path of spirituality or austerity or to become a leader of those kinds. He wanted his son to follow his footsteps and to become a king just like him. So, in order to ensure that, Siddhartha's father saw to it that he had comfort and luxury of all kinds. He never let him out of the palace for 29 years of his life. Siddhartha had everything, the finest of clothes, the most profound education, and all the luxuries that a prince would ever have. But in heart, Siddhartha was a very noble and kind soul, always loving, always helping, and always full of mercy and compassion for all living beings. At the age of 29, Siddhartha one day decided to step out of his royal palace for the first time in his life. He wanted to see the outer world, and that was the day which changed his fate and destiny. As he stepped out, he witnessed things that he had never seen before in his life. He saw an old man with wrinkled skin and a hunchback struggling to walk, struggling to even see. And this shocked him because he had never seen anything of this kind in his life. As he went ahead, he saw people, his own people, in torn clothes, tattered, begging for even a single morsel of food. They had no place to stay, and they were in misery and pain. As he walked further, he saw a man who was covered by layers of blankets. He was shivering, even though it was a hot, sunny day, only to realize that a mysterious illness had ravaged this man. Further, as he went ahead, he saw a funeral procession, and there he saw the family members wailing and mourning the loss of the past one. All this completely shook him up. And lastly, he came upon a monk dressed in orange robes, a monk who had left all the comforts of the world and who was in a state of austerity and peace. All this really shook him up to such an extent that he was ashamed of the life of excess and luxury that he had been living. He felt that in the true sense, he was not a king. What was he doing? He was only living a life of luxury. And what about the people in his kingdom? They were suffering, they were in pain, they were in misery, and he was not able to do anything at all. So on that day, he decided to renounce everything. Much against everyone's wishes, he went ahead and he left his palace, his kingdom, his family, and even his responsibilities as a householder and as a future king. And he set about on a journey to find the answer to end the suffering of all these people. 6 years he passed in going from place to place, finding an answer. He practiced all kind of practices like fasting, meditation, living in isolation, and even extreme practices like sleeping on a bed of thorns or even sleeping amongst bones in the cemetery. He did everything that he could possibly do, but after 6 years, he realized that this was not getting him to the answer that he was looking for. Finally, he came under the magnificent and beautiful Bodhi tree, and he decided to sit under the Bodhi tree and meditate. Meditate to find an answer that would put an end to all the suffering that he had witnessed. The heaviest storms raged on. The harshest sun shone on him, and he felt as if demons of all kinds were attacking him. Small ones, big ones, furious ones, the ones with red eyes, with loud noises. And for a minute, he was scared. He thought that this was another futile path leading him to nowhere. He was really scared. But a voice, a tiny voice in his heart, told him to go on. For 49 days, he meditated under this Bodhi tree. And finally, on the 50th day, he got enlightenment. And that was the day that people revered him as Shakyamuni Buddha from Siddhartha Gautama. On that day, he realized that by running away from every problem, every challenge, and from your responsibilities is not the answer for the answer to the many problems. That is not the solution to the problems. He understood the very principle of life, that each and every life that is there in this earth is equal, and we all are endowed with this courage and with this grace within us to rise above our problems and to find the various solutions. With this newfound realization, he returned back to his kingdom. Everyone was overjoyed to see him. He took over responsibilities as a family man and as a king. And for the next 45 years, he preached over 80,000 different teachings to all the disciples all over the world. His teachings traveled from India to China to Korea, Japan, and to the rest of the world. As he taught these teachings, he soon realized that people were in different states of mind. And he wanted to encapsulate all these teachings into one single teaching. And that's when he wrote all these teachings into a book called as the Lotus Sutra. That was the Buddha's word, the ultimate teaching and the ultimate wisdom of the Buddha. He told the people to discard all the teachings that he had taught so far and told them that only and only follow the Lotus Sutra, the underlying principle that the purpose of life is happiness. And this Buddhahood lies within all of us, no matter what. Here you may ask me, why the lotus? Isn't nature full of so many flowers? What is so special about the lotus flower? Let me tell you two specialities about the lotus. The lotus is the only flower which blooms in the muddiest pond, which signifies that each person grows only in the midst of challenging situation. And the second most beautiful thing about the lotus flower is that it blooms and produces seeds at the same time, thereby showing the cause, the proof of the cause and effect, which says that we as individuals create causes each moment through our thought, word, and deed. And later on, we reap the benefits of the same causes created by us. Shakyamuni also realized that these demons that he saw and witnessed were not external demons. These were his own negativity and fear coming from within. After his death, his teachings got diluted and fragmented to different sects all over the world. Now, rolling down into the 13th century, there was born a boy called as Nichiren Daishonin in Japan. He was born to a family of modest fishermen. As he grew up, Japan witnessed world wars, natural epidemics, and disasters and conflicts of each and every kind. The political and religious establishment ruled Japan, making it more miserable for the common people. Another Buddha in the making. Nichiren Daishonin was shocked and he asked himself, why is this happening to my people and what can I do for helping them? He read scripture after scripture, book after book, and ripped apart all the various books of Buddhism that he could lay his hands on. And finally, after many years of study, he came to realize that the Lotus Sutra, that was the ultimate teaching of Buddha, that held the solution to all the problems. He encapsulated the Lotus Sutra in merely 4 words, which said, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which means I dedicate my life to the law of cause and effect. The whole gist of the Lotus Sutra was merely in these 4 words. And Nichiren Daishonin realized that by chanting to these 4 words and by awakening his spirit, he realized that each person is capable of solving their own problems. Each person is endowed with this Buddhahood that no matter what happens, I will rise above these situations, and I will inspire hope and courage to myself and to others. He solely got up, stood up, and started telling this philosophy and spreading this philosophy in Japan all by himself. He empowered people to have a standalone spirit and to fight for themselves. But the religious and political establishments saw Nichiren Buddhism as a threat to their rule. Who would they terrorize? How would people get scared of their rules? And how would people be dependent on them if they became empowered and courageous? So, in a fit of fury, these people persecuted and exiled Nichiren Daishonin into a small snowy island in the middle of Japan Sea. Nichiren Daishonin did not get scared or deterred by these persecutions. In fact, he saw them as a mission, as a tool to exert himself and to grow more into this practice. He saw these obstacles as nothing but a mere dust in front of the wind. As he kept on chanting and studying the Lotus Sutra, he became so powerful and endowed that he could spread this practice all throughout Japan. He inspired each person to rise above their suffering, and soon his disciples overcame illness, poverty, and family strife to lead lives of victory. In present times, it is a Soka Gakkai International which has emerged as a frontline organization that is spreading Nichiren Buddhism and also the teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha. It enables people to understand their own Buddhahood, to rise above their own problems, and to emerge victorious no matter what. It also teaches people to be compassionate towards others and to help others be strong missionaries themselves. I encountered this practice in 2008, but the perils of motherhood and family life soon made me forget this practice. In 2018, amidst multiple challenges in all areas of my life, I re encountered this practice. And from then, it has been no looking back. Faith, practice, and study are the main pillars of this practice, and I have embraced it all. For me, this practice has been a journey of self discovery, of understanding my own self, my real inner self. It has taken me from a journey from nothingness to creating a bigger vision for myself, to creating a life that I never thought I would ever have. It has made me more compassionate, more loving, and more caring towards others. It has made me realize that I can rise above my own challenges, my own problems, and step out of the victim mode to going into a mode where I take responsibility of my own life and of the others around me. A year ago, I was blessed to be blessed with a leadership position that made me more aware of my responsibilities as a human being, that made me more aware of the fact that I am a Buddha, and so is everybody around me. It is just that this Buddhahood is covered by layers of ego, of grief, of past life experiences, which doesn't make us realize that we all are nothing but Buddhas. The leadership position has made me more compassionate, and it has also made me to do my human revolution at each step. And I really determined to grow in my faith, to grow in my personal and professional realm, to bring about people all around the world in this beautiful circle of life, of faith, hope, and harmony, irrespective of the different religions and irrespective of the different practices that we follow. The fact is that we all are one. We all are Buddhas. We all are capable of rising much, much, much beyond what we think. And I feel this pandemic has only given us an opportunity to grow closer as a community and to help each other come what may. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Does anyone have any questions, comments, thoughts?
Yes, Priya, I'm Revati here.
Yes, Revati.
Yeah, you beautifully narrated the life of Buddha and the Nichiren Daishonin Buddhism. And what it is, you told about SGI, that Soka Gakkai. And what we follow here in India is Bharat Soka Gakkai, BSG. So that you forgot to mention, I just wanted to remind you that yes, this really gives us a wonderful that confidence and the faith and the practice really make us a wonderful person and make everybody feel that everybody has got Buddha nature. So do not hurt others. If I am Buddha, if I am proper, I feel, I believe others are also Buddha and I should not hurt anybody. Thank you, Priya, making this more strong and more powerful and excellent. Lovely.
Thank
More
you so,
power to you.
thank you so much, Revati. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Judy?
Yeah, I really loved your passion and your commitment and your knowledge. It came across very strongly. What you might want to look at is to just trust yourself to take those moments. Like when he was under the tree and he was, or even when he came out and Buddha first came out and he saw the old man, maybe you could become the old man for a second, or so that you're changing it up a little bit, and that there's a story within a story for you, because
Right.
there's what you're sharing is the whole history and how you came to it and where you ended with it. But if you could take moments, like when you took the moment about the lotus, it was very vivid for me because you took that moment to tell the story within the story of itself. So if you find in what you have, which is a tremendous amount of knowledge, and you pause to plant the seeds, right? You know, because the seeds that you plant will allow it to grow. Then it will even be better than what it was, it was great. And you don't have to change anything. But as a storyteller, I always like to hear things that might improve what I'm doing. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that insight. Definitely. Thank you.
I think Nirupama.
Nirupama, yes, but you've got to turn your mic on.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is a bit difficult to pronounce, I guess. Sorry. Okay. So first of all, congratulations, Priya, for such a wonderful story. So I'm very happy to share that I also practice this Nichiren Buddhism since 7 years. And I just want to tell you only one thing about this practice, that as she mentioned, that she started self-discovery in her life about herself. So, you know, this is the beautiful practice which tells and which gives confidence to every single individual on this planet that we are Buddhas and we can do anything, everything in life. What are we aiming at is just within us, and we just need to believe in ourselves. But the problem is the consequences, the obstacles we face in life sometimes surrounds us in such a manner where we stop believing in ourselves. But every time whenever we fall down, this practice and the chant really gives us that courage to stand up again and move forward to achieve our goals. So thank you so very much. And this is a wonderful story and a wonderful practice, what we all are doing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And especially big thanks to Eric for such a wonderful initiative. Wonderful initiative where you are, in this pandemic times, you have like taken such a nice effort that where all of us are together and it feels as if we are a member of global family. So thank you so very much, Eric.
Thank you.
And everyone.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'm afraid we'll have to go on to the next storyteller. Thank you very much, Priya. That was a wonderful historical story and then a personal story.